Hi, Flosstube. Today is December 12th, and I am recording my number 19 Flosstube. Welcome back, everybody. If you've been here before, if you're new, welcome. I hope you see something that is inspiring and fun and creative and whatever. Anyway, Nancy was going to be here with me today. It was going to be a surprise, but they had a sudden death in the family. Her father-in-law passed away, and he was down in southern Utah, and they got to see him this last weekend. Made a quick trip home, and then they've got to go back tomorrow for the funeral. So, unfortunately, Nancy couldn't visit today, but in the next video, we are hoping to set that up with Nancy. So you are going to have to listen to me all by myself. I do have a whole bunch of stuff to share. Before I forget, because I know I will, I did the random YouTube picker for our giveaway. The first giveaway was the Christmas Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. And the winner is Jenna Lee Anderson 13. So Jenna Lee Anderson, my email is down in the description box. If you would send me your address, I will put this right in the mail to you. And our second giveaway from last time was From the Heart by Wendy, Needle Art by Wendy. And it's this small sampler that is absolutely beautiful. And the word for this one was sampler. And this one goes to Jan. I'm going to spell the last name, Miechils 6926. So Jan Michiels, I don't know how to say your name, and I don't want to butcher it too bad. So if you could send me an email with your address, I will get that sent out to you. So we'll get that out of the way first so I don't forget. So what have I been doing? Well, I finished a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't have finished last time. So I think I'll start with the oldest things, which were Thanksgiving. I think I had this little one stitched, and it's thanks. Let me look. I have the pattern here. They're in no order, obviously. Here it is. This was the pattern, Thanksgiving Turkey, and it's by Pine Needles, Sandra Workman in Utah. It's such a sweet little turkey pattern, and it made this really, really cute little pillow. And I just did the seam up the back. It's kind of getting blown out. I have a lot of light here. It's just a little kind of a tealy green check, and then I had this tealy green that matches this color in his scarf that I put around the outside. Just made a little pillow, and then I hung a little 2023 on a bulb pin on the back. I like to put the charms with the year on it so I remember when I made it. So that's that one. The other one I did is a thread milk design that Lori Wilson gave me when I met her at Shepherd's Bush in October. And this is called, it's from the For the Bowl series, Turkey Tavern. And this is this little pillow that says, Be Grateful. So this is the way it came out. And I just had a couple of prints that matched the color of the floss. I think it was 3021, just a brown floss. And it's stitched up like in an hour, hour and a half. So I made this little pillow, and then I put some feather stitches around it. And this is some vintage Lady Dot Creates chenille. And I did my center. This is where I leave it open and stuff it, and then it's really easy to stitch it closed. And another little bulb pin with a charm. So that's that one. So that could be a Thanksgiving one to leave out. I think that is so sweet. I love the different fonts that she used. It's really cute. Good job, Lori Wilson. And let's see then what, oh, I even have strawberry here, clear back to Halloween. This was Erica Michaels, and I think it's called Wickedly Cute. Wicked Cute by Erica Michaels, and I chose to do it in a strawberry, and this is the way she has you do the top. There's black and green kind of star shapes, and then a purple with a couple of buttons, but it turned out really cute. It's got some cute stitching on it, and it was fun to do. So there's that one, clear back to Halloween. So got that one finished. Then I started in on these strawberries from a little book by Blackbird called Deck the Halls. And I did 3 out of the 6. I did my 3 favorite. I think I'll do the other 3 because I have the little glass box. It's wood with glass panels in it that you can display these in so cutely. So here's 3 of them. I'll show you one at a time. This one is called Christmas Cactus. Whoops. Christmas Cactus. And I got the lace from Hobby Lobby that Blackbird lists in the pattern. They have the item number and everything, and it kind of just sticks out here foofy. And then you get some ribbon and make several loops and just stitch it in the middle and put it on top. And so they turn out really cute. Just a little strawberry. So that's Christmas Cactus. And they're all stitched on a different fabric. Let me see here what the fabric, I did the called for with the called for threads. Where's Christmas Cactus? From me to thee, sugar plums. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Well, I'll find it here in a minute. I did the, I know I did, this one's sugar plums, I think. Let's see. And this is on a darker fabric. Same idea with the lace and the ribbon. Oh, here's Christmas Cactus was stitched on sand, 36 count sand by Picture This Plus. That was this one. This one, I think, is towards the back. Yeah, this one's called Dancing Sugar Plums. And it was stitched on 36 count opal by Picture This Plus. It's really pretty cute. And they stitch up really fast. I think I stitched them in a day, each one. And they're easy to finish. The lace kind of sticks out. And then the third one is, let's see, which one are you? Oops, it goes back. This one is called From Me to Thee, and it's on 36 count Sanguine by Weeks Dye Works. So it's kind of a pink, a peachy pink. And it's really, really cute. I really like it. And so when you display them all together, you just have this little pile of lacy scrumptiousness. They're just very cute. So I finished those. Then I started stitching Christmas. Where's the one? The first one I did, I got this PDF from Not Forgotten Farm. This is new this year, and it's called Cinder Claus, I believe. Where is, yeah, Cinder Claus. Cinder Claus. And he is right here. I finished him in a little pillow. He's awfully quick to stitch too. Boy, It's dark outside, so the light above me is really kind of washing things out. But he is absolutely adorable. And I just added this old ticking I had and a little piece of rickrack at the bottom, and then did the ticking on the back with a center closure and another little 2023 charm. So there's that one. He is very, very cute. This is a really cute pattern. And it goes so fast. Then I got another download from Lucy Beam Love and Stitches. Of course, I had to do Tomato Santa. It's a tomato. And it turned out adorable. I should tell you, I stitched this one on Winter Brew 36 count. Is what color that was stitched on with all the called for threads. I keep forgetting to tell you that. This one is the called for threads on Oaken by Picture This Plus. And it is so cute. There's snowflakes. And he has this little, she calls it a soul patch right here. A little tiny, I guess that's a beard. And I just put rickrack, white rickrack around it, and I had this stripe. It's kind of puckery, but I did the center finish with another little charm on the back. So that's a really cute little bowl filler. Then what did I stitch? I picked up this one. I just happened to be on Brenda Gervais' website when this went live. It's an exclusive kit from Brenda, and it had everything in it, all the finishing, well, except for the fabric on the back. It had the rickrack and the little ribbon and beads for the snowflakes, which is really cute. That kind of reminds me of Katie Strachan. Her new aesthetic is sparkle prim. So she takes prim patterns like Not Forgotten Farm, and then she adds beads or sequins or something to them to sparkle them up. And that's her sparkle trim aesthetic. And I can embrace that. And Brenda even had us put some little beads on here. And this is so cute. It's a little pink cottage with candy canes and a wreath. And there's smoke coming out the chimney, and then all these trees with some peppermints up in the top. And then the super cute little snowman face. And there is over one stitching on this pattern, I must say. If I had started this on an Aida, I would have been in trouble because I didn't realize there was over one until I got into it. This handle that goes around, all the way around the top, is over one. And so is the tree, well, they're tree trunks, I guess. Tree trunks and up through the middle of these trees is all over one. So you could either stitch it at twice as big, the tree trunk be twice as big, or just use a back stitch if you want to do it on Aida. And I'm not sure, but I bet this pattern will probably come out next fall for winter, since it was an exclusive this winter. But this was the back I found to put on it. Just a little print with red. And then I put the rickrack around the side and a little double bow at the top. But I think it is so cute. Of course, I love every Brenda that there is made. So that is always fun. The last cross stitch Christmas, I just finished this yesterday. This is an old one of Brenda's with the needle and thread, and here it is. It's called Partridge in a Pear Tree. It was worked on 32 count linen over 2, and it came out in 2010, so it's been out a while. But it just makes the cutest pear. And then we actually have a pear tree in our yard, so I went out, and actually my husband went out and cut me a little branch, and I just put this green on the back and stuffed it. I have walnut shells in the bottom so it'll stand up, and it stands up good. And it's just very cute. And it only took a day or two to stitch. It's very simple. But this little guy has some cute little, I don't know quite what they are, pantaloons. And then it's very cute. And a nice little bird on top. So this is an oldie but a goodie. I saw that and thought, oh, I want to stitch that. Then, oh, I did get this kit, and it was from Summer House Stitchworks. It was an exclusive kit that we could order, I think, in October. And I ordered it, and I got this finished. It says Bittersweet on the top, and you make, it's not really a drum because it doesn't have cardboard in it. It's just kind of this little round squishy pin keep, and it has, this came with it to put on the front. It also had this marvelous perforated paper and a pattern. Whoop! It was a kit, so all the finishing fabric, the rickrack, this little bling, and the linen and thread came in the kit. And this perforated paper came in the kit for this with this little label. And it says, I can't read it backward, start each day with needle and thread. And it came with a piece of paper that you could put on the back. And it is absolutely adorable. The colors are beautiful. It was just 3 colors. And I don't have the colors here. It doesn't say because they were in the kit. But this was it. So I imagine it will come out next year, released to the public. But I really enjoyed making it. It's stitched up in an evening, both of these. So it was very fun. And then you just tack on the rickrack with the blue floss. It was Battleship Blue from Weeks. I know that. And it is just really adorable. I enjoyed doing that one. Then I did some wool applique, and I did these 3 little pillows. And the pattern is here in this pile, I think. Yeah, right here. It's a buttermilk basin pattern. And I think it's called 3 Little Snowmen. And they're just made for a little bowl. So they stitched up really fast. It was a kit that included this linen background and all the wool and the check backing fabric. So there's 3 little snowmen. I'll have to show them to you one at a time. They're on kind of 3 different colored backgrounds. And you just stitch them down and stuff them. And they're ready to go. So they were a really fast finish. I think I stitched them all down in a day and then made them into little pillows. So they're going to go together in a bowl, and they can stay up all winter because obviously they're snowmen. So that was fun. Oh, and then I finished, when I was at the retreat in Provo, one of the classes I took was this wonderful hatched and patched sewing bag. I think I showed you that I had it started. Oh, this light is crazy in here. Anyway, it's called Love to Sew Drawstring Bag from Annie Downs of Hatched and Patched. There, it's not so glary. And I got it finished, and it is adorable. This is the front of it, and it's all embroidered, and it says, Stitching with Friends, the Perfect Day. And it's got flowers and a couple birds and a basket, and you make those little flowers with lazy daisies and French knots all over it. And then 2 of the sides are this patchwork. And then this side has wool applique and embroidery on it, and down at the bottom says Love to Sew, and it has my initials and the year, and it's just adorable. This is the other side that was patchwork, The inside is all lined with one of the fabrics that I made out of the patchwork. And you put it together with these nice handles. This is made, the base fabric for all of this and the embroidery and the wool applique is a linen by Moda. And I ordered an extra yard of it from Amy at Under the Garden Moon because I loved it. It's so easy to applique on. It's kind of weighty. It's thick. Your threads don't show through. Wool applique and embroidery both are super easy to do on it, and it looks really nice. And so this part that holds the drawstring and the handles are also the linen. And this little bag went together different than any one I'd ever done before. You sew these pieces on the top edge to hold the drawstring, and when you draw it up, you've got this adorable little bag. It'll hold a crochet project, or if you were knitting socks, it would be perfect for sock knitting. I had it full of all my pillows sitting here and with all the patterns in it. So there it is. It's a fun one. And I'd say, I think a beginner, if you know how to do patchwork like this, just sewing little squares together, the bag directions are super easy to follow. And there's not a lot to the wool applique or the embroidery. It's just, most of it's just back stitch, French knots, lazy daisies, some real easy stitches to do. I think if you were kind of knew how to sew and you were a beginner, you could still make it and it would turn out adorable like this. Hatched and Patched has really good patterns. So that's what I got finished since we came together a month ago. And let's see, what do I have that's, oh, I did forget one. My husband got the frame made for this, and I got it painted. I do want to sand it off and make it look kind of old, but I hadn't done that yet. I wanted to make sure, oh, I have a wrinkle. It's not fixed in here, so I can fix that wrinkle. I wanted to make sure it was going to fit correctly with the paper. I love this paper that you stitch around the edge. This is by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread, and it is called Witch Hazel. And I stitched it on Legacy Picture This Plus 36 count, and it was so fun. And then at the end, you add this scalloped, it's music, like sheet music paper. And I cut the scallops out and added it on there. I wanted to make sure it was going to fit in the frame before I completely had it all put together. So I got to finish putting that together, but we did get the frame made. And it is so cute. I just love it. That was a fun one. So I did a little more, what's it called? Wool embroidery, and it's not quite finished. Actually, all I need to do is put buttons on. He's got buttons for an eye and 3 buttons down his middle, and then I need to put it on a base and blanket stitch around the outside to hold it to the base. I'm going to make a little ornament out of it. Well, a big ornament. It's pretty big, actually. Oh, that's the needle sticking in there. Okay. But this is Buttermilk Basin, and it came as a kit, so it had everything in there to make it. And the base is this same blue color, so I just need to stitch it all down to the base, and it will be finished. So that's kind of a whip. Now, I stitched that with Sulky. Sulky is great for wool applique because it is already 1 strand and it's 12 weight, which you can get DMC pearl cotton in a 12 weight. But Sulky comes as 12 weight. So I have, you know, a bunch of colors that are the right colors for snowmen in Sulky 12 weight. And it's super easy to use. You don't have two strands that, you know, get twisted and things. It stitches really easily. Now, I don't do blanket stitch around all the edges. To me, it looks too bulky, but that's just my taste. So I just do a straight kind of whip stitch. You just have to make sure you're going perpendicular to the edge, and then all your stitches will go the same direction. If you don't, you'll get stitches that are leaning, but if you always go perpendicular to the edge as you go around, you'll have nice stitches. So I just do a little whip stitch around everything. And I'll probably do a blanket stitch around the very outside because I need it to hold it together. But as for stitching down the little pieces, I always just do a whip stitch. And that's kind of Maggie Bonami's way she does things, and I like that. Maybe it's just because I'm lazy and I don't want to do a lot of blanket stitching. I don't know, I just like the smaller stitches. So that is that work in progress. And then I have another going, Brenda Gervais, and it's all finished except I need to find one color. And this was Reindeer Games that came out this fall. It came with the ornaments. I have to paint them. And then it's ready to go. I stitched mine. I believe it's 40 count. Yeah, 40 count vintage country mocha, which is called for, with all the called for threads. But these are the little ornament pieces that come in the pattern. I got this at Shepherd's Bush, and the wood came in the pattern. This is by Chantel 141. And you just, I'll show you the stitching. You just cut them out and gather them around a piece of mat board and then glue that to the painted ornament. Now this is the one that's not finished. There's a green like 502, DMC 502 for that package and this little package. But everything else is finished in them. So I'll have that done today and get the ornaments painted, and that'll be ready to go. Those are so darling. A lot of, there's peppermints and candy canes. This little berry bowl is not a berry bowl, it's a peppermint bowl. And there's some little candy canes, and then these cute, cute deer. So I really enjoyed it. I like the deer in the sweater over here and the red scarf. I really enjoyed stitching these. These were fun. So they're almost finished. And that's all the whips I have because I finished everything else. The only thing I have not finished that you've seen stitched is my stocking. And I have not been able to get to a quilt store. I've been to Joann's, I've been to Hobby Lobby, I've been through my whole stash. I cannot find a red Christmas fabric that matches my stocking. So as soon as I do, I will stitch that up. I'm going to follow Vanna's fabulous tutorial on the twisted stitcher for making piping and finishing the edges. So I'll get that done as soon as I find some fabric. I did go to a Christmas bazaar here in town, in my little town, and I found this fabulous doll. I still love dolls. I love to make dolls. I love to collect dolls. Her name is Millie, and she's from my friend that does she's called the Basket Case. And she's from an old cutter quilt, and she's got some pantaloons here and the whole bit, but she is just adorable. And look at her hair. Isn't that fun? I absolutely love her. She is the same gal that did the fall doll that I showed you. But this is Millie. And then my friend Sheila on Instagram, that is Craftaholic White Creations. I can never remember her name. She made me this very, very, very adorable little Christmas doll that I ordered from her. Isn't she cute? She makes the best dolls. They are just absolutely perfectly stuffed. Their hair is adorable. Their faces are adorable. Their clothes and the fabric she uses. Craftaholic Creates. I just love her. Thank you, Sheila. And then what I thought I would do today is unpack my Christmas cross stitch. I have not put up a tree, which I'm going to do today, and I have not decorated. So I've brought my Christmas cross stitch tub up here, and I'm going to unwrap it and show it to you as I go. I'm going to show you one thing that I made, which is the favorite doll I've ever made. You probably saw it last year if you were watching us last Christmas. This is a Tilda pattern, and this is all Tilda fabric that I made it with, and it's a very detailed pattern. It took me about a week to make it because I wanted to go slow and do it right, but you have to patch or piece his whole coat, and so the sleeves are solid fabric. They aren't pieced, but then you applique this star on the front, and you hand quilt his beard, quilt his little beard so it looks like a beard, and then you have this big long hat, and his legs are pieced, and he just sits. He has a flat bottom so he can sit where you sit him. But I think this is my favorite doll I've ever made. I just love it. And I do have the Tilda book. I can see the book sitting over there. I should have brought it over. So if you want to know what book the pattern is in, I can definitely get it for you. I should have thought about that before I showed you my Santa, but I was too excited. So there he is. He's adorable. You just put little paint dots for eyes, and you put on little cheeks with rouge, well, with powder blush. So there he is. He's very, very cute. I just love him. And now I'm going to grab the box. I do have one little Christmas thing sitting here that I don't want to break. It's my little mouse from Just Nan. It has two little cardinals and a tree on the back. She's got a little scarf, and then she's got snowflakes and beads all over her, and a little top hat with a star and a bead on the top, and her arms are white, or they're pins with kind of a white head on them. Whoops, sorry, I didn't even have it in the picture. Pins with a white head in them. Anyway, and then her tail is a wire Christmas ornament hanger, and I keep her in this little glass dome. And I leave her out all winter because she's so darn cute. If you like mice. I know there are people out there that don't like mice, but I do. So let me get up here and bring over my box. So we will go through my Christmas stitching. So I don't know, on Instagram, I have been having a friends exchange with my friend Shelly Fry and my other friend Liz Dealing, and Shelly is Antique Needleworkers and Liz is Two Grateful Stitchers, and I stitched them a mesh bag, and I used this little pattern on a mesh bag from Fat Quarter Shop. This is a free pattern by Hands On Design, and I think it's one of the cutest things I've ever stitched. She called for this dark blue. This is like that Weeks Dye Works gingham fabric, and you have a little felt ball that you put on top, and there's some charms. I did it last year, so I have a 2022 charm on it, but I think this is one of the cutest little ornaments I've ever seen. And so I stitched this on the front of the mesh bags that I gave them. And of course it's stitched with pearl cotton number 5, and it's over 2 squares on the mesh bag. So the stitches are probably about a 10 count, I would say. So it made this, you know, big enough. It was like this big to go on the front of a mesh bag. So that's that little guy. I have some Mill Hills that I did last year. This one. And then this is a hippopotamus, which is a free pattern from Blue Flower, Janine. It's on her website. I thought it turned out really cute. It's on perforated paper. This is a Mill Hill kit. It's a little trailer with all the extra beads and charms on it. This is another one I did. I believe Nancy gave me this little kit or pattern. It is so cute. It's a pine cone, and then the beads make it look three-dimensional. I don't know if you can see the beads, but there are a lot of beads on it, and it's adorable. It has some big red beads here that really show up. You can see the sparkle. This is an original punch needle by Teresa Kogut. She gave me this on the back. Kathy, I treasure our friendship. Love, Teresa. This was in 22. She gave me this. I keep this out all year just because it's so cute. This was the stocking I made for my husband last year. So his is all finished. I just need to get my fabric together. His is just on a blue polka dot. So maybe I should just use a cranberry colored polka dot. That would be easier to find for mine. These are just so fun. This was stitched on the 18 count natural linen, and you stitch over 2, which makes it a 9 count with number 5 Weeks Dye Works and DMC threads. I got the kit to stitch everything as called for, and it came with all the buttons and charms and bling that goes on it. You can order the whole kit from Shepherd's Bush in Ogden, Utah. They have all the Weeks Dye Works floss, everything you need for them, and the linen. So now Nancy has done every single one of these stockings, and she did them on 14 count Aida. So if you don't want to do them on linen, you can do them on Aida. They are a bit smaller, but they are just as beautiful. Let's see. This is a hands-on design that I did. I don't have a charm on it. I think I did it in 21. And you turn it into a little snowman after you stitch it. Oh, I can't remember the name of the pattern. If you have to know the name, I can look it up. I just don't remember it off the top of my head. But it was a fun one, and it's in really pretty wintry colors. You could, whoops, that's better. You could leave it up all winter. It has snowflakes and deer and houses and trees. It's very cute. These little guys are a pattern from the Cheswick Company. Cheswick Company Designs. And they're made from felt, and you just stitch, it's kind of like an egg shape. You stitch it together, the felt, and then you have all these little accoutrements that you attach to it, and their little faces, and they stand up. You can make them ornaments to hang in your tree. I usually just stand them up with my table decorations, but I love making little things like this. I just love her patterns. This is a Brenda Gervais punch needle. This is an older one. It's still on her website. I found this old frame at a antique store or something, and I finished this and thought, oh, what am I going to do with this? It's just kind of plain. Well, then I remembered I had this frame that I thought was about the right size, but I had, you know, either too much space. If I tried to center it, it looked funny because there was a lot of space at the top and the bottom. So I just moved it to the bottom and found some old buttons that matched and sewed them to the top. and I just put it in a little easel and stand it up. But it's just the cutest little postage stamp snowman. I just love it. So it's a with thy needle and thread punch needle. Okay, this one is a shepherd's bush, and this is called pillow roll, I believe is what they call them. I don't remember, but it's snowman, and it says snowfall on it, snow and fall, and it has little mittens on the bottom, and this little lace around the middle. There are some specialty stitches. I think these are, I always want to call them asterisks. I can't remember what they're called, but it's just like an X, and then you turn a little and make another X, and turn a half and make another X over the top. So it makes these little, it's not an Algerian eye, it's Smyrna. That's what it's called. And then at the bottom, this is like, it's a zigzag that you do 3 rows of together, so it makes it look like kind of a chain or something. But they always have fun stitches in their patterns. And then there's beads, as you can see, and this little checkerboard at the top. And then you just stitch it down the back to make the little roll and stuff it and tie the ends. So it's an easy finish, and you can finish anything like this if the pattern's about that same size. But it's pretty adorable. Let's see, more stitching. I gotta get down here. Oh, here's another favorite of mine. This is a Brenda Gervais punch needle pattern, an older one that I love doing. I finished it on this old green book because it was just the right color, and it looks like I put it on there upside down. That's okay, I guess. I don't look at the back anyway. I put it in a little easel stand, and this is glitter that I glued on, and she has a little halo and little wings out of paper, and she's standing on a little paper snowbank, and there's some little papers up here. But yeah, this is another Brenda Gervais punch needle. You go to her website, it's Country Stitches Online, and go to her punch needle, and I think this is still available. But I just love it. I think it is so adorable. It's so prim and yet sparkly. I like that. I'm going to run out of room with all this stuff. This is one I did years ago, and I can't even tell you what the pattern name is, and it's kind of funny. I loved it just like this. It just says snow with this little snowman, and I stitched it on this blue wool. Well, after I got done, I was reading through the pattern, and I was supposed to enlarge it like 200%. I liked it little like this, so I went ahead and did it little. And then I put this little flannel on the back. It has little Christmas trees and just some rope that I had. I stitched it around the outside. So that's always been one of my favorite things to put out. I just love that. Like I say, if you need to know the names of any of these patterns, I have them in a tub, the ones I've already stitched, so I could find it for you. Let's see what we have in here. Oh, this was a little kit I got. I believe, I got it from Me and My Stitches, which is online, Me and My Stitches. And her husband makes her little ruler boxes for her. But this came with the wool for the mittens and the background. And you just stitched the wool applique, and then it fit perfectly in this little box. So that was a cute one, a fast one, and I really like it. It just has some French knots here and embroidery, and then blanket stitch around the mittens. Some little X's down here, and this is a chain stitch that you do for the little piece between the mittens. But that's a fun one, very fun. When I say easels, these are the little easels I stand things on. They're cheap. They have them at Hobby Lobby, and they're great for standing up little things. Oh, this is another one of my favorites. I believe this is Primitive Gatherings, but I'm not positive. I made mine on black flannel, and you just do the wool applique, and then you sew it into this kitty. And it is so cute. It stands up and just has the cutest little snowman looking at the moon and this adorable house. And it's an adorable kitty too. So it's just a black flannel kitty. That's a fun one. Some of this stuff can go over here. Okay, I believe I stitched this one last year. December 25th, Merry Christmas. I think, is this Stacy Nash or Threadwork Primitives? I don't remember, but it's really a fun one. It goes fast. I love anything with a postage stamp on it. Anything that looks like a stamp, I love to stitch. And this is a really cute little snowman pillow. Merry Christmas. And I just have a little polka dot on the back and put some rickrack around the edge. If you play with rickrack enough and pinch it it'll kind of stick up, but mine always goes flat again. So you kind of have to really mess with it. Maybe you could press it that way, I don't know. But if you want it to stand up, that's what you can do with it. So that's a cute one. Oh, this is one I did last year that I love. This is Brenda Gervais from her Snowball book. And this was I think it was called Family Photograph or something. And they look like they're little photographs with the little black corners. And so I stitched them on perforated paper. My husband made me this ruler box from Ace Hardware. And, I have an itchy nose, sorry. And I just put the little red and white twisted baker twine around the inside back and a little piece on the front. And it's quite adorable. I think it turned out so cute. I have a piece of foam core cut smaller that I put the perforated paper on and then stuck them in the back to make it 3D. That's why they're sticking out. So there's that little guy. I just love this. It is so fun. I keep finding all these little easels. Oh, here's a little doll I made years and years ago. He just lost his hat. That's a little snowman. I think this may be a Brenda Gervais doll pattern from years and years ago, from the 80s, early 90s. And he has a broom and cloves for his buttons. And he's just floppy and adorable. I've had him forever, and I just love him. Brenda used to have the cutest doll patterns ever. Oh, here's a Brenda one. This is the Christmas mice in their cup. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember, but it's With Thy Needle and Thread, and you can get it on Brenda's website. And it fit in this clock. This was a clock from Hobby Lobby, and it fit just great in this clock. And then I just put some ribbon on the top. And that's just the top of the clock. The ribbon kind of is goofy. But that was a cute finish. I like that. Oops, try to get the glare off of it. So that's a fun one. I think that's called Christmas Tea, maybe. It has something to do with tea. And it's the little mice guys. Here's another Brenda. I believe this is Peppermint Pals. With Thy Needle and Thread. And this was the called for mint or something was the, I think it's Picture This plus mint is the linen, can't talk, and all the called for threads. And then I found this paper mache book at Hobby Lobby and just painted it red and kind of scrunched it up and it fit perfectly on the front of it. I just put some chenille around the edges so you can't see the edge of the mat board that it's mounted on, and a little red bow at the top. So that's an easy finish as well. Very cute. And I have this giant pile of stuff all around me. I hope it doesn't fall. This is one I did a couple years ago. It just says joy. I believe this is scattered seeds, maybe. It's just a super simple one with a little blue Santa Claus and a little, it's very primitive. And I made it into this little pillow. I just sewed strips around it and then joined it to the back and made it this little cute pillow. So that one's very cute. Then I have another pair. This one is Threadwork Primitives, and it's the Believe pair. It came out a couple years ago, and it makes a wonderful pair. It has a good flat bottom to stitch on, and you put a herringbone stitch around the sides if you want to, and it is just so cute. I love this one. Really, really like that one. Here's another with Thy Needle and Thread, Hot Cocoa, and this is Kermit, Weeks Dye Works Kermit, and all the called for thread with some rickrack around the side and a little 30s fabric on the back that I kind of primmed up with some, I think I tea-dyed it. You can see some modeling, but it's just a super cute little stitch. Has these little berries, the holly and little leaves, and then you put this, this is actually 6 strands of floss, and you just go across here with it and tie a bow. So that's a really cute one. If Brenda Gervais did not design patterns, I wouldn't have anything in my house. Let me tell you that. As I'm sure you can tell. Let's see here. Oh, here's another doll I made. It's a little snowman doll. I think this was in a magazine, like Better Homes and Gardens Christmas Crafts or something. And he has little branches for his arms and legs, and then you make this little wool coat. And the buttons are jingle bells. And he has a wool scarf and a little top hat. He's just, his head's made out of Osnaburg and stuffed. And then those are French knots. And he has a long wool nose, a carrot nose, and then there's a little star hanging off of him. But I love little dolls sitting around in other stuff. Speaking of little dolls, this is by Sheila, Craftaholic Creates. She sent this with another doll she made for me. So cute. It's a little gingerbread person. Well, no, it's a snowman. It's just a little snowman. I have another Brenda with Thy Needle and Thread. This is one that is stitched 1 strand over 1 square of 28 count Lugana, mushroom Lugana. And it's just this tiny little house with a little cardinal. There's one there and there. And a little vase of boughs, and then peppermints, and this cute little thing. And then there's a snowflake button right here on the corner. And I just put this fabric at the bottom and on the back and tied a little piece of, it's a kind of a shiny cording that I just tied around it. Just like that. So that is adorable. I love to do 1 over 1, really tiny things. And she has several patterns like this. And I can't remember the name of the series. It's a little series. Anyway, there's an autumn one and a winter one. And there's probably a couple more, but they're very cute. Here's another one I did miniature. These are the mice again. And this is a wool boot with Warm and Natural batting for the fuzzy. And this was stitched 1/1 on 28 count mushroom Lugana. And it has these cute peppermint candies with the trees on them. And the mice. She has her little apron on, and he's a Santa Mouse, and she has a candy cane. And then I have Rick Rack and some Big Dot on the back. And it is so adorable. I just love it. Very cute. Yes, this is the Brenda Gervais Tour Through Christmas patterns, I think. Here's another one. Gotta fluff it a little bit. This is the Joya Noel. I love this one on this dark, I believe it's gunmetal is what I stitched it on by Weeks Dye Works. And it's the angel with some cardinals and a reindeer and a basket full of holly, some snowflakes. I just put the baker's twine around it. I have this print on the back. It has a little pucker right there for some reason. Anyway, it's another one from With Thy Needle and Thread. Can you tell she's my favorite? I don't know how you could tell. Well, I might as well keep going with hers because I've got some more. Here's another mouse one. The mouse in the Santa hat. This one I stitched on 40 count. It is not 1/1. So it's quite a bit bigger than the 1/1. But it was on 40 count over 2. And all the call for colors. The snowflakes are hard to see because they blend in. It's kind of tone on tone. But it's a cute one too. And it has the big polka dot and some foofies on the back. So I have lots of these pillows to put all around everywhere. Here is Frosty by With Thy Needle and Thread. This one I put pom-poms on because it kind of looks like the little fat snowman. And there's cardinals, and there's holly, and there's candy canes, and I just love it. I put it on a stripe, and I have this cute little button that I just put on the back. I thought it was really cute. So that's Frosty. I don't think that's the name of the pattern, but it's on Brenda's website, Country Stitches. This one came out last year, I believe. This is Joy and Good Cheer. And it kind of got smooshed. With the cardinal and the snowman in the basket and the red house. And it's gorgeous. I love it. I love the colors. I love the teal. And I love that red. It's on 36 count. It looks like vintage country mocha with the called for colors. And then I put Lady Dot Vintage Chenille around the edge, and it's got teal polka dot on the back of it that matches this. So there's another pillow. Let's see. Oh, here's another Brenda. This is a little, this was a retreat piece, I believe. And I borrowed the pattern from my friend Tina in, I believe she lives in Wisconsin. Wisconsin or Minnesota? Wisconsin, I think. And stitched this little snowman guy, and you put it in one of these, in a half of a plastic Christmas ball ornament. And you put these pearl beads in the bottom. And then I just put Rick Rack around the edge and some scrapbook paper, Christmas scrapbook paper on the back. And it turned out really cute. I really like it. Sorry, the light is blowing it out. Oh, I can't get rid of the glare. No matter what I do, it's got glare. But it is a really cute little snowman. Guess what? It's another Brenda Gervais. It's a punch needle. It's just a little snowman head. And I finished it on a piece of mat board, and then I took a piece of wool and blanket stitched it to the edges of the punch needle and added this, for heaven's sakes, what's it called? You know, that. I added that to it and made a handle out of that. What is that called? Twill? No. Words go right out of your head when you're trying to think of them. Of course, I know what that is, but you couldn't. I can't tell you. You're yelling at me, I know. This is a fun one I made quite a while back. It's a little pattern. It's just a little stitchery pattern is what I call them. Embroidery, I guess. It's a snowman, and it says warm the heart. And it's on Warm and Natural. I stitched it on Warm and Natural, and then I filled it with sand. I had to line it, fill it with sand. And if you remember Sherry, Cute as a Button from the 80s, this was some fabric that she designed. So this is an old one, but I just love this primitive, cute fabric. Ah, adorable. And I sewed the rickrack in the edge when I sewed it together as a pillow. So it's real squishy because it's sand, but I've always loved this pattern. So fun, so quick and easy to do. I'm about to have an avalanche, I'm afraid. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, it's another Brenda. This was her free pattern called Mary and Minty. I think I changed it a little. I put this across the top, like across the bottom, and I think it was supposed to say Mary at the bottom, and I didn't. I just did the poinsettias. And this is actually a piece of 2x4. And I just covered the 2x4 with fabric, put this on the front with batting underneath it, and then took a wide ribbon and went around the sides and put a bow on top. And it is literally a piece of wood. People do that with styrofoam too. I like the wood because it's heavy and it sits up. And at my house, at least, we usually have chunks of 2x4s laying around that I can just go, hey, can you cut this long? And there you have it. So this is actually a free pattern by With Thy Needle and Thread. I believe it was on her Facebook page in 2020, and it's called Mary and Minty by Brenda Gervais. Oh my word, I just have piles. Oh, I have to get this one out because it's a fun one. Now I got this idea from Deb at Country Stitchers, and the glass is going to make a big glare. Maybe if I shade it. There. Okay, this is a Brenda Gervais pattern, Country Stitches, and you stitch the snowman. If you can see the trees on his tummy, he has some trees. And then you make a paper clay head and nose, and then the wings, they're paper clay too, and you stick some mica flakes on them to make them shiny. And then this comes from Hobby Lobby. It's still available. I've seen it lately. And just, I put cotton batting, or not cotton batting, just some snow from polyfill. That's what it is. And then some of these Christmas greenery things, pine cones. And it just makes a really, really cute little table display. I just love it. So Deb at Country Stitches, thank you for this idea. I saw this, it was the very first year I started watching Flosstube, so it was December of 2019. And I had to order the pattern and make it because I'd seen Deb do it and thought it was fabulous. So there you go. Thanks, Deb. Oh, here's a fun one. This is not Brenda. This one I got off Etsy, and I couldn't tell you the designer right now, but I loved it because it's a little postcard and it has a stamp and a little truck stamp with a tree. And you just finish it flat on mat board with fabric. And then I put the red and white twine around the edges to hide the edges where you glue it together. But isn't that cute? A little postcard from Santa Land. Oh, here's a fun one. This one is by Barbara Anna. This was out of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitching magazine, and I believe it's winter of 2020. And it is adorable. I just finished it in a hoop, and I put a fabric. It's tan with a polka dot on it. You can't really see it because of the light, but it's just a cute little stitch. It's a fun one, and it goes fast. I better get rid of this paper so I can see what's down here. La 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 la. We're getting to the bottom, actually. Yay! Okay, now my sister made these for me, and they're adorable. These are wool applique, and you tie them with this ribbon onto a candle, a jar candle, and just display them that way. And they are so cute. I think these might be Threads That Bind patterns. This is the snowman, and then this is a little outdoor scene, and it's all wool applique. She does a really good job at wool applique. So I have those that I put on candles. They're really fun. My 92-year-old mother made me this. She stitched this a couple years ago. It's Oh Christmas Tree. It was a little kit she got at a quilt store, and you make it into this cute little candy. And I believe it's a hatched and patched pattern. And that is very cute. Oh, there's a couple more in here. Let's see. I'll dig them out so I don't have to keep digging. We're almost to the bottom. Yep, this is the bottom. These are the last ones. This is a cute one. Oh, it got a wrinkle in it. I did this in 2020, I believe, and it just says Xmas. And I think it's either Prims by Lori or Threadwork Primitive or Scattered Seeds. I just put a little ribbon on it with a bell charm, and it's got a snowflake right here that's hard to see because it's tone on tone. And then I opened it up on the back. So when after I stuffed it, I put a piece of wool and some little buttons. So there's that little Christmas. That stitches up in about an hour if you want a fast little pillow to make. This one is a Lizzie Kate that you can get from 123 Stitch. It's in a, excuse me, in a pattern with 3 or 4 other little designs. And this says On Dasher. And it's the reindeer in the little houses, and there's some little buttons that came with it. And then I put rickrack, and where I tacked it down, I put a little pearl bead, if you can see those, all the way around where I tacked it down. And I don't know about you, but I kind of like flat pillows. So mine aren't stuffed real poofy. They're pretty flat because I like to see the cross stitch. If I stuff them too poofy, you don't see the whole thing. I like to see the whole thing. And the last one is this Merry Christmas. I did this in 2021 because I signed it down here. Wow. I put a jingle bell up here. This is very cute. And I believe this is Threadwork Primitives. But it is super cute. A little Santa in a sleigh with the reindeer in the sleigh. It says Merry Christmas with the beautiful font. I really like this one. But that is the end of my cross stitch Christmas. So now I have to go put it up. I like decorating once I get into it, but it's like, why am I doing all this when all I'm going to do is take it down? Once I get it up, I love it. I just haven't been in the mood this year. We were sick in November. We had COVID for 3 weeks. My mom fell and cut her arm open. My husband had COVID. Then he had to have surgery. So we have had a terrible November. It's a wonder I got anything done. But, excuse me. Now I'm coughing to death. Anyhow, I will be back around the 1st of January, and hopefully Nancy will be with me. So in the meantime, before I choke, oh dear. I'm sorry. In the meantime, there. Have a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you in the new year. So Happy New Year too, and have a wonderful holiday with your friends and family, and do a lot of stitching. Look, I'm even crying. And I will see you next year. Bye, Flosstube.